Hey guys, I thought I'd have a little chat to you about kind of my Dolly plans for the future and what I'm kind of thinking about. I had some really exciting news yesterday, which was really fun. One of my friends um, from the UK is gotten into BGDs, which is really funny. And she emailed me about it and was asking me about advice on it. And it's really weird when a friend gets into it. Like I had even mentioned it to her, and she was just like, "Oh no, I saw like you mentioned it somewhere a while ago, and I was wondering if you could tell me more about them because she's thinking about getting one." So like I was like, "Oh, just check out like things about face ups, restringings, do's don'ts, that kind of stuff, and if you need any help, give me a shout." She thinks she's found like her first doll that she wants to get. She only wants one, she says, but as we all know, being BGD addicts, doesn't always happen. You usually end up with quite a few. Like I only intended to have one, and now I have like a potential 12. I'll tell you why it's a 12 in a second. But yes, that was really funny, and yeah, and she was actually thinking about getting a little Annie, so I might show her my girl face to face properly and see what she thinks. Um, I've started to think about kind of what I'm doing in the hobby and what I'm thinking about doing in the hobby because I know that I have a lot of stuff for my girls and my boy, and I'm thinking that I need to kind of clear out. I need to kind of have a sit down and sort of think, right, what am I actually doing in the hobby? Because before, all my dolls had a storyline that ran through every single one of them. They all still have their own storylines, but they're not all linked, and I need to decide whether that's right or wrong for me just now. Obviously, this little girl is Dorian's little sister. She's definitely staying. He's definitely staying. My considerations are more towards my other dolls. As much like, in some ways, I think I'm getting to the point with my dolls that I'm actually not thinking about storyline as much. I'm thinking more about just the sculpts and how like I want to dress them and how I style them. And then usually I find that that sort of stuff comes later. But I find myself being drawn more and more towards kind of fantasy style dolls. For example, someone put on a Soom what are they called? Woo Deers, Winnie Deers, or something like that. And ever since I saw her, I just like she's just adorable. She's just a little USD, and she's got little antlers and she's got little like ears, and they're so cute. And I think the only thing that I would want to ever finish my collection is a fantasy doll because I loved having my Bumblebee Ariel. I really loved her ears and I liked that sculpt. But her character just never seemed to fit in with the rest of my dolls. But now, these days, I find that I'm being drawn more and more to those kind of dolls. I think it's because I've never, like, I haven't owned one like that since her. Like, the closest thing I've had was my Shoo Shoo vampire, but she just didn't click for me either after a while. But I mean, this might just be a phase, so I'm gonna give it a little while to kind of think about it. But I may consider trying to get hold of one. And yeah, I think that would just be quite a nice finish for my doll collection. Would be a little fantasy girl because that would actually bring my total up. If you include my practice head, I have 11 dolls that I'll have by the end of this, and it'd be quite nice to kind of round it off to 12, even though 12 dolls seems mad. And I don't understand. I was only gonna have one. It's just really strange because all my dolls used to be connected and they had a story and everything like that, and now they've all kind of gone their separate ways. It's kind of funny. But I love them all. Like there's no doll that I'd actually want to sell. But I love them for different reasons, and I don't know if I would love you guys to comment. Do you sometimes get this feeling that you've just kind of got a bit UDD mad, and just keep buying dolls and stuff, and it's just getting to the point where I think I'm going a bit crazy about it. But I don't know, because I love the dolls I have, and I know I sold quite like I know I sold that last one really quickly. Um, but I don't regret that because she just did. I think when I get a gut feeling about a doll these days, my gut feeling is actually quite correct with the gut feeling. Um, and I just had a really bad gut feeling about her because she just didn't do it for me. And I think I had that a little bit when it came to my other dolls. As much as I loved getting, the other dolls I got, there was still something going, something not quite right. So I'm hoping that that's the case. And yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a rambly video. My bad. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of how I'm standing. I'm considering leaving my collection at 12 dolls. Um, and just if if I ever wanted any more, I would have to think about selling a doll. I think that's the best way about going about this because I have no idea what to do otherwise. I am considering selling my practice head purely because I haven't actually used her yet, and if anything, it's made me realise that I do not want an SD sized doll, which is good, and that was part of the point of why I got her. I just think it's too big for me, and that's just the head. The head is just too big. I like having my dolls kind of so I can hold them and have them sit with me and that kind of stuff. And I think when they get too big, they're a bit too clumsy for me. I like my smaller dolls. I think I've always seemed to be drawn to them. I've only ever looked at some SDs, but that's been the very odd occasion, and that was mainly when I was first in the hobby. And I've changed quite a lot since then. But that's kind of how I'm thinking just now. I'm thinking maybe sell her because when I get back to Glasgow, I've decided I'm going to have a spring clean. I'm going to get rid of any clothes that I don't need, any little accessories that I don't use, and just condense what I own down because the quality of stuff that I have now is a lot higher than when I first started because I find there's a lot of people when they first get into the hobby, you go for the kind of bog standard clothes and all this kind of stuff. You don't really put too much money into it, but I think that's because you're worried about first being in the hobby, and you don't know if you're going to stick with it. Like I wasn't sure if I would stick with it, but I have. Um, so I think that's why I ended up with so many bog standard clothes to start off with. But now I've got better clothes and better dolls and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking I need to kind of sort through all the clothes and all that kind of stuff to see what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. And hopefully condense it down to one box. I have too many boxes, which is a bit crazy just now. Anyway, I'll stop rambling because I realize I've been rambling for about 8 minutes. So I'll cut this off and I will chat to you guys soon. Catch you later.